A person of interest is in custody in connection with a homicide investigation in Fort Scott, Kansas. Plus, Governor Laura Kelly announces a proposal that would provide tax rebates to Kansans. And a Pittsburgh wrestler is tearing up the mats in just her first year competing.
I see her being a state champion before she's done with this program.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities have found a person of interest in a double murder case in Fort Scott, Kansas. This is KOIM News at 10. Yesterday, the Fort Scott Police Department responded to a 911 call from a resident who found their family members' bodies. KOIM's Bronte Sorotsky has details on that murder and on the status of the person of interest in the case.
It's pretty quiet. We hear occasional hot rod running by, but really not much. Anytime there's any activity downtown, we're close, so that kind of we catch that. But yeah, it's pretty quiet.
The community of Fort Scott was put on high alert Wednesday when news of a double homicide broke. Michael Cheney lives nearby the house where the murders occurred and says he didn't know what was going on at first.
My first notice was a police siren that I heard, and it just went for a second until he stopped up there. It wasn't too long until my niece, I have a niece that lives with us, so her friends had heard it. So it was the grapevine is how we heard it. And so they contacted her and she contacted us, and then another friend sent me a text.
On Tuesday, the Fort Scott Police Department received a 911 call from a resident at 402 Main Street who came home to find their family member had been shot. When police arrived, they discovered 48-year-old Melissa L. Mitchell, who had died from a gunshot wound, as well as 53-year-old Leonard D. Zimmerman dead in the home. The victim's son, 23-year-old Dawson J. Mitchell, is a person of interest wanted for questioning.
Yeah, the police, of course, around the house confirmed something was going on with the crime tape and all that.
Mitchell was arrested around 1 p.m. Wednesday for theft of a firearm, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and unlawful possession of controlled substances. In Fort Scott, Bronte Sorotsky, KOIM News.
At last report, the 23-year-old had not been charged relating to the murders. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly is proposing to give residents who pay income taxes a one-time rebate of $250. Kelly outlined that proposal today. The Republican-controlled legislature would have to approve the plan, and GOP lawmakers are expected to have proposals for ongoing income tax cuts instead of one-time rebates. Lawmakers' next annual session convenes on January 10th. Kelly said such rebates would be possible because Kansas has been collecting more in tax revenues than expected for months. Her proposal would provide $250 to individuals and $500 to married couples filing jointly. About 1.2 million filers would receive a total of $445 million. The Kansas Forest Service has revised down the number of acres burned in last week's wildfires. The agency posted on Facebook that around 163,000 acres burned on December 15th, not the 400,000 that was first estimated. The Forest Service and the National Interagency Fire Coordination Center are using a new satellite data system to map ongoing wildfires. The service says that as heat, dust, and smoke cleared, the satellite was able to get a clearer picture. The fires claimed 2 lives. The unusually mild weather continues for December. Doug Heddy.
Yeah, kind of crazy, and this has really been the trend since the middle of November. Majority of our days have been above average, and no exception again today. Average highs 46, 59 today. Cold start at about 25 degrees during the morning hours. We do have a few little clouds which are sneaking through, but these clouds will actually start to increase later on tonight. You can see them picking up out across central and western Kansas. All right, temps low to mid 40s. I don't think we're going to drop off too much more, maybe about 5 degrees due to our south wind, which is starting to increase. In fact, it's going to be kind of windy as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. At about 6, 42, 51 by 9, near 60 by noon. High temp right around 63. A lot of clouds, but overall a pretty good day, and we continue to warm up. Changes down the road. We'll look at all this here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Thanks, Doug. New cases and hospitalizations from COVID-19 are surging throughout Missouri, and health leaders are warning of an approaching perfect storm if more people don't get vaccinated and take other precautions. Missouri is now seeing a 7-day average of daily new cases of more than 3,000. The average dipped below 1,000 in October. Meanwhile, hospitals are becoming overwhelmed in both the St. Louis and Kansas City areas, even before Christmas gatherings and before the fast-moving Omicron variant fully takes hold. Oklahoma health officials say they've detected that state's first confirmed case of the Omicron COVID-19 variant. The Oklahoma State Department of Health did not release any information about where the case originated or whether that person was vaccinated. There's a new weapon in the nation's battle against COVID-19, a pill shown to be nearly 90% effective against severe illness and deaths if taken within 5 days of experiencing symptoms. And there might be a glimmer of hope from South Africa, where the Omicron variant was first detected. Deborah Alfarone reports from Washington.
A recent drop in South Africa's new daily COVID cases raises hope the Omicron variant could take a similar path in the U.S. The highly contagious strain can already be found in every state, plus D.C. and Puerto Rico, just over 3 weeks since the first case was detected in the U.S. Its new dominance is causing worries for those on the front lines of the pandemic.
It's really the unknown. We are in a perfect storm.
On Wednesday, the FDA added to its COVID-19 arsenal, greenlighting the first pill for infected people 12 and older. Pfizer's Paxlovid is said to provide a strong defense against severe illness and death in vulnerable patients.
We will have discussions to explore how we can help them improve their manufacturing capacity even further by providing any resources that they need.
With Christmas 2 days away, Dr. Anthony Fauci says fully vaccinated Americans can get together with family.
But I want to make sure this is not confused with going to a large gathering. And there are many of these parties that have 30, 40, 50 people in which you do not know the vaccination status of individuals.
Fauci's guidance comes as a group of scientists said its forecast models show Omicron will likely severely stress, if not overwhelm, already strained healthcare systems across the country. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
Only around 65,000 courses of Paxlovid will be available and will begin arriving during the first week of January. It's according to a post from the U.S. Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response. Meanwhile, an antiviral pill from Merck also is expected to soon win authorization. The fast-spreading Omicron coronavirus variant is causing a surge in the purchase of at-home COVID tests. So much so that two of the largest pharmaceutical chain stores in the U.S., CVS Health and Walgreens, are limiting the number of tests a person can buy. In a statement, CVS said, quote, "To ensure equitable access to tests both in-store and digitally, we've added a limit of 6 test kits per purchase. That's 2 more than Walgreens is allowing, but Americans may soon be able to get free tests in the mail." Yesterday, the Biden administration announced the purchase of 500 million at-home rapid tests to send to people. Still ahead, we're going to hear from a Southwest Missouri family who has firsthand experience with dealing with grief about how you can handle it over the holiday. And the Consumer Electronics Show will go on, at least for now, but without some marquee guests.
It's that time of year.
The loss of a loved one is never easy, and the holidays are really difficult for families who've gone through a loss or other tragedy. A Springfield area family talked with Joe Hickman about some ways to navigate through these heartbreaking times.
This recent photo of the Caldwell family includes a blanket on the shoulder of 10-year-old Claire, who's now the exact same age as the owner of that blanket, her sister Abigail, who died in 2018.
The death of a child, oftentimes people will say, is the worst thing anyone could live through. But holidays, Christmas, her birthday, put spotlights on her absence.
All the traditions are about family, so it makes sense that's going to be painful.
Abigail was a healthy, normal youngster 3 years ago when she started taking the antibiotic Bactrim for acne on her scalp.
19 days after taking the Bactrim, she developed a fever The fever rapidly progressed into lung failure. She was taken to St. Louis Children's Hospital where she coded, so her heart stopped. I know it's not my failure, but that's what we're working through.
She's working through it with the help of the Lost and Found Grief Center, where families learn to find their own ways through the holiday pain, like making new traditions.
I will never have another Christmas with Abigail. And so stop trying to achieve whatever a Christmas with her was like, because it can't happen.
If you have other children, you've got to do something for them.
We do have Claire, so I ended up giving her my Amazon account and said, pick out a tree, honey. And it brings joy. It's not a center of sadness and what's not there. When you look at this tree, you cannot help but laugh.
Amy and her family are still a work in progress, but her advice for those going through similar pain?
You have to have buckets of grace. Buckets of grace on yourself and on your family too, because they don't know how to help you. They want to, but they don't know how.
And that includes friends and relatives understanding if someone wants to avoid holiday get-togethers.
They're surrounded by people who want them to be okay, which is an unintended pressure on them.
And remember, there is a place for help.
When you see the mom of a dead kid, people often try to run away. But at Lost and Found, they run to you.
Again, that was Joe Hickman reporting. Americans' confidence in the economy has dropped to its lowest point since the start of the pandemic. That's according to a Gallup poll that found 2/3 of adults believe the economy is getting worse. They're concerned about supply chain problems, rising inflation, and the continued spread of COVID-19. COVID-19 is causing havoc with one of the biggest annual tech conferences in the U.S. CES will move forward with in-person events in 2 weeks, even though a growing number of prominent tech companies say they are not planning to take part. Amazon, Meta, Pinterest, and Twitter are among those who announced they're pulling out, citing concerns about the recent surge of COVID-19 cases. A couple of media outlets, including CNN and The Verge, have announced they won't cover CES in person for the same reason. CES is scheduled to take place January 5th through the 8th in Las Vegas. Later, a pickleball Christmas party in Carl Junction, Missouri.
Plus, it looks like near record highs as we head into Christmas Eve, but then some changes. We're going to look at that coming up.
The outdoors.
Well, it turned out to be another nice day for us today. Temperature is fantastic again, near 60 for a high. And we're going to have a big warm up over the next few days. We do get a storm system on Sunday that could give us thunderstorms. Thunderstorms again possible on Tuesday. Another system next Thursday. We are still looking for at least some snow chances late next week. We're kind of flirting with it, so we're going to have to see how it pans out. But the bottom line here is the pattern starts picking up. We're getting into a 3-week stretch of the pattern that really gets going. You can get my longer range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOAMnewsnow.com. But if we look at December, pretty warm. All these red days, temperatures above average for this time of the year. That's how the second half of November was as well. So that shows you, if we're in a 63-day cycle, that there's about 40 of those 63 days that are fairly warm. And we're ending that stretch, but it also lets you know that by mid-January, we're back to the warm weather. All right, looks pretty good right now. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. This is a live shot just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Looks good. Pretty much clear skies. Temps for highs today near 60. We have dropped back a bit. We're into the lower 40s right now. I don't think we're going to fall off much more, maybe 3 or 4 degrees, and then we should hold steady due to a south wind, which is kicking in. That's going to kind of keep our temperatures up just a little bit. Looks pretty good. 7th and range line. We are looking off toward the northwest, 45. South winds at 10. Humidity, not bad at about 63%. And we've had pretty much clear skies all day long. We are starting to get a few clouds sneaking in out across central and western Kansas. We are going to have a lot of clouds over the next couple days, but temps look pretty good. Here's our jet stream. This is a little ridge that is going to roll in. So that's going to give us great weather. And then right behind it, here's the beginnings of getting the ball rolling with numerous storm systems that will affect us over the next few weeks. So let's go ahead and break it down for you tonight. Most of the night looks good. We're going to get some clouds in here late tonight. We'll have mostly cloudy skies tomorrow, but temperatures fantastic. Here's your forecast starting at 42, 59 by noon, high temp is 63. Note the south winds, kind of breezy at about 10, upwards to 20, gusts a little bit higher than that. Stays windy tomorrow night, So we don't drop off much, only into the mid-50s. Let's jump into Christmas Eve. Not very Christmassy weather. Near record highs, lower 70s during the afternoon. We get a system that shoots to our north Friday night into Christmas morning. We get a cold front that drags in as we work into Saturday. I still think Saturday, Christmas Day, temperature is pretty good, but we are going to start to drop during the afternoon. Here comes a system on Sunday. Thunderstorms. These could be kind of strong. Sunday afternoon, another front rolls in on Tuesday. Another chance for thunderstorms, but at least the pattern gets active, because when it gets active, I'm not bored and I got stuff to talk about. 63 tomorrow, 72 on Friday, 64 Christmas Day, and then there's chances for showers and thunderstorms on Sunday.
It's beginning to look a lot like April.
Mm-hmm.
Warm and rainy.
It's crazy.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Thanks, Doug. And nothing says Christmas better than a good old game of pickleball, like a scene out of Charles Dickens. Pickleball players in Carl Junction tonight grabbed their rackets and hit the court for the CJ Pickleball Christmas Party. Pickleball is a paddleball sport that combines elements of badminton, table tennis, and regular old tennis.
I like seeing people have fun, enjoy it. I like to see them smile and laugh and have fun. I just love knowing that something I could put together and people get the excitement and enjoyment from it, basically.
This is the second year for the Christmas Pickleball Party. Coming up in sports, the Missouri Tigers hit the field in the Armed Forces Bowl, and a Pittsburgh high school wrestler finds instant success in her first season on the mat. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Doug Head.
Tonight is the final game of the football season for the Missouri Tigers. Mizzou is in Fort Worth, Texas, facing Army this evening in the Armed Forces Bowl. Now, the Tigers 6-6 in the regular season. On the other side, Army finished 8-4. This one actually just went final a few minutes ago. Army kicks a field goal as time expires to win it 24-22. Army is now 4-0 all-time in the Armed Forces Bowl. A Pittsburgh high school wrestler has found some early success in her first season on the mat, and she's doing it after only a few weeks of practice. Our own Danny Terzer has the story.
For Sierra Deerling, wrestling comes naturally.
I think a lot is her natural athletic ability. She's super strong. She's one of the strongest girls in our school, pound for pound. And she works hard. She's a straight A student. She's a coach's dream. She comes in wanting to learn, wanting to get better, and she's easy to coach.
Deerling started wrestling a little over a month ago. She's found success early on.
The girls' wrestling program is newer, so they were looking for girls who might be good at it. And so they were kind of just asking around, and I figured, why not?
I think her first week or two, she kind of battled and struggled a little bit and got frustrated because she wasn't great right away, you know. And but she's done everything to improve and get better.
It's halfway through the season and a little over a month into Deerling's career. She's 11-3 with 8 wins by pin, and she's holding her own against some of the best in the state.
She lost one more match her first tournament to a girl she was beaten like 10-2 and just got in a bad spot and a little inexperienced. Then she went on a tear and hasn't lost a match since then until the Bobcat Classic where she took 3rd place.
I've always just kind of wanted to be better, just try, just go out there and see how far I can get. So I know we always say what you put in, like you get, so just try to put in hard work and see where it gets me.
Here is a perfect example of her work ethic. She's working one-on-one with her coach over Christmas break.
She's always trying to find extra ways to get better, always willing to put in the extra work, and that's why she's having the success she is.
It's kind of exciting because I know I've only been wrestling once, so I can go further if I wanted to.
I see her being a state champion before she's done with this program.
In Pittsburgh, Danny Terzer, KOAM Sports.
And Deerling and the Purple Dragons are off for the rest of 2021 before returning to action on January 6th. The Colgan girls basketball team is off to a hot start this season. The Panthers are 4-0, including a 2-0 mark in CNC league play. And they've won those 4 games by an average of more than 40 points per night. Colgan is getting some big-time production out of some young players to start the year. Junior Lauren Torrance posting 11 points and 5 rebounds per game. But sophomore Lily Brown, she's really been on fire. Brown is posting 23 points, 12 rebounds per game, helping the team end 2021 with a perfect record.
I feel like running the court has really helped for me. I've been able to see the court a lot better this year compared to last year. It's just kind of crazy how much one year just kind of, I don't know, boosts your confidence.
She's doing a great job rebounding. I mean, she can jump out of the gym and she can run the floor, and she's doing a really good job of, you know, finding the openings and the seams, rebounding, and she runs the floor really well. So she's just she's tough to guard.
Immediately as I put the ball on the floor for transition, I'm looking up for her down the court. She's sprinting as hard as she can, and she gets boards really well too. She's had a couple double-doubles, as you've seen probably. So she's really improved, and I'm proud of her.
And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Resort.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Staff Sergeant Norman Lee Stakau served in the U.S. Air Force. His hometown, Parsons, Kansas. And we are proud to salute Staff Sergeant Norman Lee Stakau. He's tonight's 4th state hero. You know, you can learn about lots of other heroes from all across this area. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime, and we're always looking for more. You just go to our website and click on the link. The website, koimnewsnow.com. Hope you're dreaming of a warm Christmas, because that's what you're getting if you're staying around here.
Yeah, and a brown one. And a windy one.
Yeah.
So temperatures near record highs on Christmas Eve. 72, the record is 73. So we're going to make a run at it. Cold front does roll through on Christmas Day, but I think most of the day will be into the 60s. We need to watch Sunday. We could get some thunderstorms. Tuesday could get some thunderstorms. Next Thursday, we're still watching that system. Possibly snow right before New Year's.
Too late for Santa, but Santa will get through it.
Yeah.
Final sports note.
I'm going to remind you every night, Saturday night, Christmas night, we're going to have our pick scene preview, where we were right, where we were wrong. Had predictions in the magazine. Some we whiffed really badly on, so we like to make fun of ourselves once a year.
That's always fun. Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
Salon service.